James, I just want to quote to you from a 2006 paper by Thomas Inglesby, who was a director of Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. This is back in 2006. He said that the negative consequences of large-scale quarantine are so extreme, meaning lockdowns, that this mitigation measure should be eliminated from any serious consideration. As we did during SARS, as we did during MERS, we didn't have lockdowns, we didn't have all this stuff, and yet you even see the Deb Frecklington up there in Queensland, James, saying, oh, no, we're not going to change any of these measures. What is going on?
Well, and this is the thing. So, even if you're talking about before you're having liberal solidarity on this, well, you got to wonder how much would be that would be worth, and that study there absolutely holds true. The WHO never gave this advice that you should have nationwide quarantines, any of that. It all oddly changed once this virus came out of China, and China, very tied to the WHO, started pushing lockdowns as the solution, and then the WHO pushed that around the world, and everybody said, oh, well, I guess we have to do lockdowns just like China. But back to your point about Deb Frecklington, this is so weak, Rowan. Where is the point of difference? What do the people who live in Queensland, especially southeast Queensland, which are dying because of these border closures with New South Wales, where all the tourism is dependent on people coming up from New South Wales, where that border economy is dependent on people being able to get back and forth, where is the point of difference for them come election day for them to be able to say, no, we are voting against this Palaszczuk paranoia, and we are voting for a sensible government that will open our state back up to the rest of the economy?
Absolutely. Well, let's do a quick whiz round some of the other disasters in the States. Rita, West Australia, what are they doing?
Oh, well, this is a little bit removed from this, but the West Australian, I was shocked to read this in the West Australian, that the Lottery West Board has unanimously rejected the grant application for Victory Life Community Services. That is the charity that Margaret Court runs, and the grant was going to be used for a freezer van so they could feed needy Australian families. But the board has rejected on the grounds that Margaret Court's biblical views on same-sex marriage are not, up to 2020 standards. I mean, this to me sounds crazy that you are depriving needy people of meals that they would be served by this charity because you don't like the founders' views on same-sex marriage, which is legal. It passed. I mean, what is Margaret Court doing to impede anybody's same-sex marriage? Crazy
And of course, her religious views, Rita and James, her religious views, and I don't need to tell you this, is based, it is Christianity that gave us the idea of feeding the loaves and bread to the multitudes. That charity, and certainly Jewish and Islamic charities do the same thing as charities give out food. So, of course, you can't divorce the one from the other. If you have
they asked the people who are
starving,
feeding, have they asked them, do you really want this meal if it's given to you by someone who's not fully supportive of same-sex marriage? I bet you most of them would say, yes, please, I still want the meal.
Exactly.
I don't really give a stuff who the founder of the charity
the destruction,
thinks about a political issue.
The destruction that left-wing dogma causes, James, is just terrifying.
It is the interesting point, though, and I'm going to be talking a bit about this later on in the show, is that this whole present woke thing, it is a religion itself, and it does not like the competition, and that is what's really happening here.
Yeah, and so the Nobel Peace Prize goes to the mob who feed hand food parcels around with our money instead of Donald Trump. But this mob, Lottery West or whatever in WA, so I don't know, we're going to veto a Christian person for handing around food. It doesn't make any sense to me.
The UN does a lot more offensive things than Margaret Court.
Exactly.